Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Venus. In this video, I'm going to be talking you through my journey and my top 5 tips how I paid off my loan fast. So the backstory for this is I moved to the US in 2013 for my MBA. So with that, and I ended up graduating in 2015 with over 190,000 student loan. And I decided to pay off the loan fast since February of 2017, and I paid off $175,000 by January of 2018. I will post a screenshot right here. So here I'm going to be talking you through my top 5 tips on how I did it. And if you're interested in anything in terms of personal finance, investing, and self-development, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the number 1 tip I have for you is to really know your why and understand the math. So one of the biggest motivation for me is I want to be debt free as soon as possible so I can be free and start my own business. So that was a very strong foundation of knowing my why, and every single day I have that goal in my mindset, and knowing that once I'm debt free, I can start my own business. I can do a lot of fun stuff for my life and my career, and that's just something I feel very excited for. And definitely find a reason for your goal. It can be you can start to save up for your down payment for your house, or it can be the option that you could go travel more or change jobs, whatever it is. Definitely find your goal and your reason, and that will keep you super motivated throughout this journey, no matter how long or how short your journey might be. And finding your why is super important. And knowing your math is also very important, because since I graduated, initially I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I was paying the minimum payment, which was $1,500 per month, which was still very high, and I wasn't understanding that I was actually mostly paying for the interest, and it was chipping away very, very small amount of the principal. So I went back and fully understood the amortization schedule and decided that I don't want to pay the interest to the bank anymore. So which serves as another strong goal and reason of why I wanted to do this. Once you ground it in your goal and your reasons, and that will help you through this journey. So the second tip I have for you is very controversial, and I wouldn't actually recommend you doing so unless you know what you're doing. And this is also goes against many of the experts' advice here. So basically, what I did was really to invest in my funding to grow my equity faster. So what I did was, so basically from 2015, as I mentioned, I was paying the minimal amount. However, I made a conscious decision to build a strong stock portfolio and build up my investment portfolio to have that being able to grow faster than my loan interest rate. My loan interest rate was very high, actually back then was around 8 to 9%, but I managed to manage my portfolio to grow at a stronger rate. And so by the 2017, when I started deciding that I wanted to pay off my loan, so I put a couple of big chunks of money from my brokerage account directly over to my student loan account. So here you can see that from 2017 February, and in just 1 month I paid off $70,000. That was from my brokerage portfolio, and the months after I continuously paying in $20,000, another $10,000, and every single month adding onto it, right, as I'm gradually cashing out my portfolio. And another thing I did was definitely very risky back then was I invested in cryptocurrency back in 2017. So I remember back in the days, Bitcoin used to be $3,000 and Ethereum used to be $45. And I jumped onto that bandwagon and invested in crypto for quite an amount of time in 2017 up until early 2018. I cashed out everything and avoid the entire huge crash that later happened in that period of the time. However, I did cash out my crypto investment and put that towards my loan. So that's this backstory of how I was able to pay off over $175,000 in just 1 year. Tip number 3 is to shop around the rates. So as I mentioned, my student loan rate was very high, it's 8 to 9%. So I did shop around a little bit, and here again I went against the traditional advice. I borrowed against my 401k, and it was below 3% if I remember correctly. Basically, I'm borrowing the amount out of my 401k account and took very low interest, and I used half of that amount to pay off my loan and half of that amount to actually invest in crypto. So again, that's a very risky move, and if anything failed, if I get fired or if any of those investments didn't go well, I could end up with a larger liability. However, back then, like I said, I was hyper focused on my goal and really knowing my why and knowing my risk tolerance, and that was the thing that I went to eventually helped me to accelerate the process. However, here I do put a disclaimer here, please make sure that you understand your risk tolerance, understand what you're doing. Number 4 is live below your mean. So this is one advice you will hear pretty much from everywhere, and I have a completely separate video on how you save fast on the monthly basis. So TLDR here is I basically cut every single excess expenses that I can think of and living really below my mean and living really frugally and very lean for just that 1 year for me to be able to achieve my goal. And I also stopped to contribute to my 401k and everything to making sure that I was maximizing my cash flow and put some money towards my loan payment first. So whatever it takes, whatever I can think of, all the different creative ways, and I use that to put against my loan. Number 5 is to find extra income source. So for some person that can be changing jobs for a higher pay, or that can be finding extra gig works like from Fiverr or Upwork to take on extra projects that can bring you additional cash flow. For someone, it can be selling some products on Amazon or other third-party websites to bring you additional income. So those are the different creative ways for you to bring extra cash flow to put that towards your loan. So here you can be really creative and think of different ways to generate extra income workflow. So here I am, many years after, have been debt-free and very happy about that situation. I don't regret about my 2 years expensive MBA. I also don't regret of I took certain risk to achieve that payment within just 1 year. So hopefully this video gave you some inspiration, and also as a risk claim reminder, and making sure you do your own research before you do anything that's beyond your risk tolerance. And so hope you learned something from this video, and make sure to subscribe before you go if you want to see more content around personal finance and investing, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.